I've been getting questions about how I got Spring Week offers, so I thought it would be best for me to put it in a video. Stay to the end while I give some tips about converting a Spring Week into a summer internship offer. I'm also making this video now because even though I was lucky enough to get multiple Spring Week offers, at this time 2 years ago, I hadn't applied to any of the firms I received offers from. So, if you're thinking it's too late, it definitely isn't. I'll be adding various sources that you can utilize below too. Spring Weeks are short work experience programs that generally range from a few days to a week, and they take place during the Easter holidays. These are really useful because you can gain an initial insight into a firm and its divisions. These programs can also provide you with the opportunity to secure a summer internship, the final step before a graduate job offer, without having to later apply for summer internships. These can be completed 2 years before the course end date, for example, the first year of a 3 year course or the second year of a 4 year course. I honestly didn't think I'd get any. I just applied because I thought they would help me prepare for summer internship applications. So even if you aren't confident, it's still worth a shot. In general, apply as soon as possible, as many of these applications are rolling. This means that the company may have already hired its applicant before the closing date. The first stage is usually the CV. It's important to keep this to one page with your name, email address, and phone number at the top. Afterwards, include your education and grades. Next, write about any work experience that you've done. Try to keep each experience to one bullet point. Start with action verbs and discuss what you've learned. If possible, incorporate figures where you can. Afterwards, talk about your extracurricular and leadership experience, and finally, your skills and interests. Many firms require you to write a cover letter. Address this formally by including, for example, your address, the address of the firm, dear sir, madam, yours sincerely, and split the cover letter into three main parts: why the firm, why the division, and why you. For why the firm, if you can replace the firm's name with another firm's name and it still makes sense, it isn't specific enough. Make sure to check that your spelling, punctuation, and grammar is accurate for both the CV and the cover letter. After this initial screening, there are usually online tests. To be honest, I didn't actually practice this beforehand, but if I did, I definitely would have got more interviews. From speaking to others, JobTestPrep seems to be a useful site for practice. After the online test, there are usually interviews. This could be higher views, telephone interviews, video interviews, or in-person interviews. Make sure you're dressed formally and look into the camera when speaking. Use the STAR technique, explaining the situation, task, action, and results for tell me a time questions. Having some extracurricular activities are very helpful for these questions too. Read up on the news beforehand, for example, the Financial Times, and give your own personal opinion when discussing various topics or articles. Also, remember to ask questions at the end. After completing these stages, I did my spring weeks in the Easter holiday of my first year, and I had an assessment centre shortly afterwards. This would determine whether I got a summer internship or not. The main difference between the interviews at this stage and before were the technicals I had to prepare for. I mainly used the 400 IB questions guide, but did other research, for example, using Investopedia, the Corporate Financial Institute, to understand the information in the guide and make sure that I wasn't just memorizing the answers. I hope this was useful in explaining what a Spring Week is, why to apply to Spring Weeks, as well as a general step-by-step guide to tackle the various stages of the application process.